folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Well, we're expecting a cool front to come through tonight and bring some rain, which is desperately needed. It is dry and dusty. just everything. The chickens are dusty, everything's dusty and dry because we haven't really had a lot of rain in a while, and they're calling for a ½ inch to an inch, which isn't a ton of rain, but as dry as we are, we'll take whatever we can get. And they say it's going to start cooling us off a little bit for a week or so. So we will see. It's the Ozarks, so, you know, you never know what you're going to get with the weather. Today, maybe my title has stepped on some toes, and I didn't mean to, but part of the thing that I like to do on here is to get you to critically think. And I want to tell everyone, you are not ready for what's coming. You're just not. None of us are. For many reasons. Partly because we don't really know what's going to happen. I mean, it could just all go back to normal after the end of this year or after the election, or who knows. Most likely not, because of too many things that are going on all over the world. But we don't really know exactly what we're going to be facing, and that's true with any time of our life, not just 2020. So you might say, well, man, if I'm not prepared and I'm not capable of even being prepared fully for whatever's happening, then why in the world am I prepared at all? Because everything that you do to become more prepared, well, it makes you more prepared. I mean, it's pretty simple. And so as simple as this is, and you might be asking, well, why are you talking about something that's so obvious and simple? I'm saying it because some of you, maybe you've been a prepper for a while, and maybe as you're seeing things unfold in the world today, you might start getting nervous of like, man, we're just not quite ready. You know, I had these plans to do this, and this, and to get this, and to store this away, and there's not enough time. Or maybe you're brand new. Maybe you've just woken. You've been in a sleep your whole life, and you finally, because of the things that are going on, you finally have awakened from your slumber, and you're starting to panic because you feel, I haven't done anything. I don't even know where to start. You know, should I just go back to sleep, or should I try it all? And what I'm telling you is that no matter what you do, you're always, just in the act of doing it, is getting you a little bit more prepared. You know, prepping is just a form of insurance. It's like getting insurance on your car. Getting insurance on your car doesn't prevent you from getting into a wreck. And sometimes that insurance isn't enough. That's a problem with a lot of people. They get, insurance, and then maybe it's worse and it doesn't cover everything. Or maybe it's medical insurance, and then you go through some kind of major medical procedure and your insurance doesn't cover everything. But it covers at least some of it. So you're not out paying the full amount, right? And it's frustrating and it's awful, I know. But that's kind of what prepping is for. It's an insurance, and it may not cover everything. It may not get you prepared for every possible circumstance that you will face. But it's getting you more prepared than you were before. And that, in the end, is the goal. So don't focus so much on trying to be ultimately prepared for everything. Because when you do, sometimes you can start to get a little panicky, a little down, and think, man, I really wanted to get this, and this done, and I can't. Should I just give up? Especially those of you that may just be kind of turning on to the idea that you need to be prepared more. So I'm not trying to discourage you in saying that you just can't be prepared for everything. What I'm saying is that even the little bit that you're doing does prepare you. there are just some basic things that you can do among the many, because as those of you that have been involved in prepping and getting your lives more self-sufficient know that it's really a never-ending journey. It's not really a hobby. It's not just a thing you do. It is really a lifestyle of becoming more self-sufficient to where you need less and less outside help. And that's really what prepping is. You're getting yourself set up in a situation that, whether it's short-term, moderately, term, within maybe a few months or even a year or so, or long-term, which could happen for years or maybe even the rest of your life, you are getting yourself and your family able to the point that you are able to handle what comes at you on your own as much as possible. Now, when I say on your own, I'm really meaning without the system helping you, because you cannot depend on that system. We've seen too many times, whether it's government, the food supply that from the private industry, grocery stores, trucking, things like that, water systems, electrical, energy, gas, propane, things like that. We have learned too many times that those things are pretty fragile. They only work really well when everything is going really good. When things turn bad, they quickly crumble. And so that's what you're wanting to be self-sufficient from. Not necessarily so much from other people that are like you. I do encourage, and I encourage it all the time, to meet people like you in your area and to build and forge those relationships. They are very critical. I know a lot of people that really push the lone wolf mentality, meaning that you can just do it all on your own and you don't need outside help and you'll be able to survive on your own. You might. I mean, there's a chance that you might, but let me tell you, the odds are definitely in your favor and in your family's favor if you have built at least some kind of network of people to help each other out, to rely on, to barter with, to help with their place and them help you with your place, or to defend your place. Share knowledge, share tools, share resources in some form or fashion. And this doesn't have to be where everyone lives on the same property. I mean, if that's what you choose, that's fine. It could just be your neighbors. It's something that I have done here. My closest neighbor, which I feel very blessed, the guy that's the closest that lives to us, he's a full-blown prepper himself also. And maybe he's even watching this. He does sometimes. And so it's nice to have someone that's very, very like-minded. And we are working to get others in our area within a certain radius of just talking to them and getting them kind of on the same page of what to do if something really bad happens. That is important to have that, and that's not losing your self-sufficiency. Okay, a lot of people think that. A lot of people think being self-sufficient means you don't need anyone. That's not really it. Self-sufficient is that you're not dependent upon the system, and in the end, that's truly the biggest goal that you can have being a prepper, is being self-sufficient. I mean, you can have some food set aside, you can have some water set aside, you can have medical items, first aid, you can have firearms, tools, different things set aside. But that only will get you so far. What you really need to do is to develop a self-sufficient lifestyle as much as possible. And especially just at least knowing how to do these things. And I've said here on this channel many times, we have things here that we're able to do in a more primitive way. We have certain tools and implements here that if we needed to, we can do things more primitively. Now, do we use those all the time? Not necessarily. I mean, we do occasionally just so that we can maintain our skill level. But do I go out and I cut all my wood with an axe? Absolutely not. I have chainsaws for that. But I have an axe in case I need it and the chainsaws fail or there's lack of fuel. And it's the same way with self-sufficiency. You should try, and it does benefit your life to be more self-sufficient. But it's okay to still, have connections to that network, as long as you know that if that network fails, you will survive without it. If you still like to occasionally go and get your fancy coffees, which my fancy coffee is what I roast and make myself, but maybe you're into that. That doesn't mean that you're not self-sufficient. Just know that if something happens and you never get to have that again, that your life is not over. And I know most of you are probably okay with that, but there are some people, if you take Starbucks away, they might think that their life is ended. This is really what you need to focus on trying to be prepared for what's happening. There are some basic things, especially for you beginners. Water. Here, I'm going to give you a few tips. I wasn't planning on doing it, but I'm just going to throw out a few things. For those of you that are beginning or kind of intermediate, you need to have water. That's one of your biggest things. We have to have water to live, and we can't live very long without water. About 3 days, and that's it. So you need to have a source for water. You need to have water that you can store away, and then you need to have a way to filter and purify the water, because odds are you might come across water, but if it's not drinkable, then it doesn't do you really much good. So you need to have a good filtering system. You need to have some kind of access, a plan to get your water, but it's also good to have it stored away. So you can buy those cases of bottled water, and it's good to have at least 3 of those per every family member that you have. 3 to 4 of those cases per every family member. Good to stick those back. As long as they're out of the sun, they last a long time. Have some food set aside. So a good starting place is somewhere between 20 and 50 pounds of rice and 20 to 50 pounds of beans per person in your family. Canned foods. Soup is a really good one because it covers everything. There's a lot of different vegetables, meat in there, a lot of different nutrients. You can eat it right out of the can uncooked, or you can put it over other foods and eat it. So maybe 2 to 3 cases of canned foods per person in your family. Medical supplies. A good medical kit, not those cheap little Walmart $10 medical kits. Another one is firearms. You need to have a way to defend yourself. You also need to have the tools to preserve food, whether it's through hunting meat or growing your own vegetables. You need to have some tools, some really basic tools. A canner is a good one, some canning jars, knives to kill an animal, clean it, butcher it, process it. You need to start working on a small library, at least, of the basic things. How to butcher an animal. You need to start reading that stuff now. How to grow gardens and to develop a garden. It's not as easy as you think. You need to know about some basic herbal medicines because you can't store up enough medicines to take care of everything. You need to... Oh, had a chicken walking over here by me. Kind of spooked me a little bit. You need to know some basic herbal medicine skills and what grows in your area. So a good book for that kind of stuff. You also need to know how to fix things. So books on that. Books for first aid. Field medical books are really good. What would be used in military circumstances to understand field medicine, and then basic first aid. You need to read this stuff ahead of time. If you're planning on learning how to do first aid when someone's arm gets cut off, then you've waited too late. These are some really basic things that you can start doing now. But always remember that it is a journey, and the biggest thing that you can do is in your mind. You have to train your mind to understand that at some point you have to do things more simple, that things may become tough for a while, that you have to be a little bit creative sometimes with what's going on, and to understand that the world around you may drastically change, and it could change very rapidly, or it may take a while. Either way, you have to be mentally prepared for that. And then also your heart. One of the best books that I can recommend for a prepper is a Bible. And that's my personal choice, and if that's not for you, then that's your business. But making sure that your heart and your mind are in the right place, that it's capable of withstanding. You know, one of the things that we're seeing going on right now in the country is that people are not psychologically capable of handling the craziness that's going on. And honestly, it's not nearly as bad as what it could be, or probably what it will be. And people already are breaking down, and they're not capable of it. So getting your mindset and your heart in the right place so that it can handle will make you more prepared than you can imagine, just that alone. Doing some basic things to get you along, and then build upon that. Don't stop. Once you get the things that I've mentioned, keep moving forward. Keep getting more things put aside, and then also just learn how to kind of do things on your own and take care of yourself. That's something that this world has really lost, or at least this modern world. We've become so dependent upon everything. No one knows how to fix anything anymore. No one knows how to make anything. No one knows how to produce anything. No one knows how to take care of themselves. And so in the end, those kinds of things that you can simply do will actually make you really, really prepared for the things that happen. Don't worry about the fact that you're not prepared enough, okay? Just focus on that you're going to continue to prepare. Every day, try to do a little bit of something. Maybe it's exercise. Maybe it's buy a little extra food when you go to the grocery store. Maybe it's learn a new skill, or buy a new book to read that would help you and benefit you if something really bad happens. Maybe it's make new friends that are like-minded, and that you can help each other and kind of build a network of a community to get through the tough times that could very well lie ahead. But don't get so discouraged, and don't get so panicked if you're worried that you're just not prepared enough for what we might and most likely will be facing. Because no one in the end can be truly that prepared. We just have to do everything we can right now to be as prepared as we possibly can be. And that's different for everyone. And so, you know, don't put someone down because they're not as prepared as you, or they're doing it differently. Everyone does it differently. And everything that you're doing to become more prepared just increases your odds of survival that much more. All right, folks. I do think that there's something coming down the pike, and I do think it's probably going to get a little bit worse, if not a lot worse, than what we're facing right now. In fact, tomorrow's video, I will be discussing and getting a little bit deeper into the Great Reset. Yes, it is a thing. It's not just some conspiracy theory. It's a real thing, and we're going to get into that a little bit deeper. All right, if you want to get a hold of me for any reason, there's some contacts below in the description. There's also some links to some really great products, including a really good water filter that's a really good price in the description below. All right, folks, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.